Hi there, this is Ronnie, Amber's Night, coming at you with a video. Um, this isn't a sort of direct response to the main man's video, but I will link to it because it touches on some of the points. Um, Not about the RPG community apocalypse, because I've said my piece on that. This is about the post-apocalyptic games. Um, and main man was looking for some uh, views. So I thought I'd throw in mine. I did a post, so I thought I would add a few to it. There are, of course, a lot of post-apocalyptic settings that one can do. Um, Main man's touched on a few. Zombies, zombie apocalypse is pretty much big business at the moment in the public domain because of series like The Walking Dead. Post-apocalypse after an alien invasion, something along the lines of the TV show Falling Skies or the original V series, um, or the aftermath of a nuclear holocaust and society having to get back together again. Uh, I like that kind of dark setting. I really do. I think the only problem that I've come up against, and it's a failing on my part, is having to deal with all the minutiae. But it's certainly a challenge. As I mentioned in my post, the thing that I am most interested in terms of post-apocalyptic settings is what would happen if, in the aftermath of um, World War III, uh, a nuclear holocaust, what would happen if the West, I mean, I'm here in the United Kingdom, so I would probably set it here, or America, came under the rule of a totalitarian theocracy. And given that it's the West, let's call it a Christian theocracy. Um, if you really think about it, that's just a downright scary notion. If, you know, you only have to look at what have you got, uh, say here in Scotland, the Scottish Christian Party, or in America, say the Tea Party, and they got control of the country. And that sort of very ultra-conservative, right-wing Christian viewpoint became the norm, and all the laws that they enacted and changed and amended were based on fundamentalist Christian beliefs. Most moderate Christians would be horrified, let alone the atheists and people from other faiths. Um, I had a book, I've done this on another video, I had a book from the infamous Chick publications, which if anyone's ever read any of their stuff, it's somewhere between infuriating and hilarious, depending on what mood you're in at the time and what passage you're reading, because it can nicely fluctuate between the two, because some of the claims are just offensive, slanderous, deeply bigoted, and just profane, just uh, disgustingly bad. But could you imagine those kind of people running the country? Could you imagine how you would feel, and this is where I would come in, if you were part of a minority that this theocratic regime was then going to attempt to hunt down and eradicate, um, echoing the final solution that Nazi Germany employed against the Jews. Um, you know, essentially a second Holocaust. I think it could be a very interesting, downright scary scenario. And also, from my point of view, a bit of a warning to people to not let the extremist ends of faith run a country, because they'll run it into the ground. So yeah, that would be the sort of post-apocalyptic setting that I would use. That would be the setup, and the characters within that in the game would be minorities who are being hunted, which I like the idea of. That would give them an immediate reason to sort of run and hide. So those are that's what I would do.